Hey everyone, it's Jessica, and today I'm going to talk about Sephora Bestsellers. This is literally, if you go to Sephora and you look at you click makeup and then you click bestsellers, I went through the whole list. And these are bestsellers that I didn't like. I've tried them, most of them I've decluttered, but all of these are products that I just didn't like. Now, there's varying reasons why. I'll try to be as thorough as I can in here. Obviously, if people like these products, if they're on the bestsellers list, not only are people buying them, but other people are recommending them. People like them. So I know this might ruffle some feathers, but hopefully we're all mature enough to know that we all have different opinions and that doesn't change your opinion. You know what I mean? So I saw Lisa Stevens do this here on YouTube. I will link her video below. That's what inspired me to do my own version. I mean, it's the same video, but my products I declare. Anyway, but I really trust her opinion because she worked at Sephora. So it was very illuminating to watch her. So you should definitely check hers out. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first product is the TooFaced Born This Way foundation. I don't know what it was about this, but what I remembered, and TooFaced had sent me a bunch of these shades, if I'm remembering correctly. I didn't buy it. No, they definitely sent it. And I ended up decluttering all of them over, the course of that year because I felt like it was just kind of subpar. I didn't think it was bad. Like, it wasn't something that I put on and thought, oh my gosh, this looks terrible, like some foundations I've tried. It was just one of those things that I was like, this really isn't worth the price point, so I didn't really want to highly recommend it because I didn't think it was anything special. So I know a lot of people like it, and the reality is if I wasn't a YouTuber with tons of makeup, would I have kept it and probably used it all? Sure, because it wasn't bad, but I just didn't feel like that strongly about it. And for that reason, I was just like, I remember it kind of illuminated some dry patches, and that's one just big no-no for me. I'm like, nope, because I know there's other things out there that don't do that. So next one is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. This one will be brief. It was just way too drying for my skin, way too drying. Most high coverage foundations I just can't do with my dry skin. And I know a lot of you dry skin gals out there feel me. There are some things you can do to make it better. So you could put, a facial oil underneath, and that does help. A really good moisturizer, a moisturizing primer. But at the end of the day, if I'm looking in the mirror, like literally at the end of the day, and I look and my skin's all cracked, I'm like, why am I doing that? I don't have that much to cover. Why am I putting on this high of a coverage foundation when it's just making my skin look worse than it did before? Sure, it might not be as red, but now it just looks dry, crepey, and old. So it's like I'm kind of picking my battles here, and I would rather have maybe a little bit of redness show through, but my skin looks healthy and glowy, versus high coverage that looks great from a distance, but in real life, it just looks like a mess. What do they say in Clueless? She's like a Monet. Like, from far away, she looks all right, but from up close, it's just such a big mess. Another I decluttered. It Cosmetics CC Plus Illumination. I love their CC cream. I've been wearing it in light. I think I need to go a shade down to fair right now because the light is way too dark for me. But the one with illumination, I tried to make work. I've tried to even mix it with the regular one, thinking maybe it'll balance it out. It's way too glowy, like shimmery glowy. And it's to that point where every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, this is too much. And like, I'd put a bunch of powder on top and it would help, but I'm like, I don't even have oily skin and it's making me look like I have oily skin. So I could only imagine for someone that has oily skin, how ridiculous it might look. So that's just kind of my take on it. I do, however, like the It Cosmetics CC, it's like their Celebration Foundation Illumination. I like the illuminating version of the powder, but I don't like the illuminating version of the actual CC cream. The Naked Heat, the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, I got rid of that. I gave it to my friend because it was one of those things that, again, they sent it to me and I'm all excited and I opened it, I'm like, wow, the packaging is beautiful. I mean, look at it. It's just so pretty. The colors, super warm tones, really, really pigmented. But it was one of those things that I'm like, it's almost too much for me. I could get like one kind of everyday look and all the rest were really fiery looks. And while I do like doing that from time to time, I knew in my heart that I wouldn't get very much use out of it. I would much prefer a warm tone palette that maybe has a few more wearable, of course that's my opinion, wearable, but more like everyday kind of neutral colors mixed in with it. And obviously that's not the point of that palette. The point of that palette is, it's Naked Heat. But I just knew it wasn't my cup of tea, and so I just passed it on. Again, it's one of those palettes that, yes, it's good quality, but you need to look at it and be like, am I buying it just because it's new and exciting? Or am I buying it because I'll actually use it? Because you need to kind of you know yourself better than anyone. Just get inside that brain of yours and think, why am I buying this? Next is the, oh, I might still have this one. Hold on. I do not. So in fact, I actually have decluttered every single one of these. It is the Becca Prismatic Amethyst highlighter. This I thought was limited edition. Maybe it still is, but it's been around for a while, so maybe it's not. I don't know. But I bought it back when it first came out, maybe a year or so ago, and it's got this kind of purple hue to it that can look beautiful on different skin tones. It just doesn't look good on mine. I wore it a few times, and every time I like look in the mirror, I'm like, it's just like it just didn't quite mesh right with my skin tone. And I did feel like that one was just a little bit grittier than the other Becca highlighters I've tried. And for that reason too, I was like, is it grittier because it's like limited edition? They're just not putting as much like good quality ingredients in it? Is that a thing? I feel like that's a thing. Or is it because of the color? Like it had to have certain, I don't know. Regardless, I just felt like it was a little grittier. It didn't look natural on my skin in the way I like it to, or at least it didn't mesh into my skin. I know a lot of people love it. So it's kind of, again, it's a your cup of tea kind of a thing. Another is the Makeup Forever HD stick. This is a stick foundation. I really like the Hourglass Vanish foundation. That's also one of the best sellers. But this one, the Makeup Forever, it was just a little bit dry on my skin, and I felt like every time I'd blend it, no matter how I was doing it, it would just kind of pull up those dry skin parts that I had on my skin, and it just did not look flattering no matter what I had underneath it. Now, I was talking to my friend Laura about it because she absolutely adores that stuff, and she said that she uses so little, like so little. I'm like, well, maybe I was using too much. That very well could be. So if I still had it, I'd kind of try it again. But, you know, that's kind of my 2 cents. Again, dry skin kind of a thing. That's really, I'm kind of realizing as I'm saying all of this out loud, I'm like, Jessica, it sounds like a lot of these are just products that you didn't like because of your skin tone or skin type. And so I hope this is still, I've got a few more products to mention, but I hope this is still helpful for those of you that have a different skin type. So maybe if I'm saying it's too dry for me, but you have oily skin, then maybe it would be great for you. You know what I mean? So I hope this is still a helpful video. I don't know. Anyway, okay, another one is the Tom Ford Quads. I've only tried one, and it's the one in Orchid Haze. This was terrible. I returned this one. I was so upset because these palettes are freaking expensive, these quads. And I do want to try one more, just for the sake of my channel. I hate that I'm having to say that I hated this Tom Ford Quad, but it was horrendous. No pigmentation. I literally could not believe it. I kept looking like, is this authentic? But yeah, I ordered it from Sephora's website. It was crazy. I've never been so disappointed in something like ever. Anyway, but I want to try the one in Golden Mink or Cocoa Mirage because I've heard those two are so gorgeous. So if you know which one of those two you'd recommend, like for me, if you know me, you know what I mean. Let me know below because I do want to buy one more and make sure maybe it's just that one quad. Maybe it is. Or have you tried other quads of his and you're like, no, this one is also terrible because they do have, you know, like 7 or 8 options. Okay, another one I didn't like. I remember buying this at Sephora and like trying to color match myself. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. It was a very thick foundation. You squeeze it out. It's very, very thick. And it just, I tried it with a brush, a blender, everything, fingers, and it just was too much, I think. It looked very, very fake in every lighting I tried it in. And, you know, it was a little bit drying, but it wasn't the worst. It was just that in every lighting, it just looked so fake. And it wasn't fake like in a perfected way. It was more fake like in a, ooh, does she know what she's doing kind of a way. Does that make sense? I don't know. So that one I ended up decluttering as well. So if you would like to see the opposite of this video, Sephora bestsellers that I absolutely love and recommend, let me know because I was looking at that list. I'm like, dude, I've tried almost every single one of these products. So let me know. I would love to film that as well. And then with most of those, I still have them so I could actually swatch them, show them to you, things like that. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I hope you enjoyed and that you'll subscribe before you leave. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.